What if the things you've been waiting for so long don't depend on the world, nor on others, but simply on a word? Not an ordinary word, a name, one of the 99 names of Allah. A sacred key, offered to those who still dare to believe, those who whisper in the invisible, even when everything is silent. Today, I will reveal to you 7 names of Allah, not to recite them like magic formulas, but to do them live in you. Because when a sincere heart calls, the sky always answers. Prepare to feel what the eyes cannot see, and to touch with your soul the doors that only Allah can open. From 1. The power of the name of Allah. Al-Fattah, the great opener. In the heavy silence of the desert nights of Mecca, where the stones preserve the memory of the footsteps of the prophets, a man named Hassan walked aimlessly, his eyes empty, his soul full. Every morning he hoped, every night he cried. Poverty had worn out his clothes, but his heart remained alive. The men looked at him with indifference. The doors of merchants, wealthy families, opportunities, all seemed sealed by an invisible hand. However, in his solitude, Hassan had learned one thing. When the doors of earth close, you must knock on those of heaven. Then he began to call upon a name, not just anyone. "O Fattah," he said, "O you the great opener, open for me a way out where my eyes see only walls." 100 times a day, 7 days. Not a dry invocation, but a breath, a heartbeat, an offering of his despair into the hands of Allah. And on the morning of the 7th day, a noise, a thrill. Someone was knocking on his door. A man he didn't know. But this man spoke to him as if he had been guided. A stable job, a mission, a regained dignity. Is it a miracle? No. It is the secret of the one who knows the name. Repeating Ya Fattah is not just articulating syllables. It is align your soul with a divine attribute. It is ask the one who holds all the keys to open what is close to you. Work, the heart, healing, peace, inspiration. It is saying to Allah, I don't want a man-made way out. I want the opening that only you can design. And there, the universe changes direction. An invisible movement is triggered. An angel may already be on his way. And you, tell me, what are these doors that no one can force into your life? Did you really entrust them to Al-Fattah? Or are you still trying to open them with human keys? Try. Say it 100 times today, and look what opens up. Tub-to-tu, the heart that purifies itself. O Jerusalem, the most holy. There are storms that no one sees. Interior shards that have no noise. Silent tidal waves in the heart of a woman or a man who carries the weight of the past, the shame of old errors, the scars left by decisions, sins, regrets. Amina knew this inland sea well. Beneath his clean clothes and polite smiles, there lived a pain that no words could calm. She prayed, yes, but she felt dirty, unworthy, impure. One day, in a small book on the names of Allah, she came across Al-Quddus, the most holy. This name vibrated within her like a reminder of a lost purity, or perhaps never known. She then decided, every morning I will say Al-Quddus 100 times, and I will see what this name will do to me. The first days, the words came out with effort. But little by little, something changed. The nights became sacred places, filled with sweet tears. No, not tears of pain, but tears of purification. Appeasement was born where tumult, shame, and anger once lived. And in those moments of silence, Amina felt something more powerful than forgiveness: regeneration. For when you repeat the name of the Pure One, you offer your heart as an offering, and Allah, in His mercy, washes it with His own hands. The Prophet told us, there is a piece of flesh in the body which, if it is healthy, the whole body is healthy. If it is corrupt, the whole body is corrupt. This is the heart. Hadith reported by Al-Bukhari and Muslim. Spirituality is not an accumulation of mechanical prayers. It is a heart that opens, softens, illuminates. And Al-Quddus, repeated 100 times every day, becomes a heavenly soap. He polishes your soul. It erases the dust of what you have been to reveal what you really are. So I ask you, gently, have you let Allah purify your heart recently? Or have you become accustomed to your current state, thinking that it is normal to live in the inner noise, in the emotional disorder, in the bitterness that you hide from the world? Try. Say it 100 times today, and feel the calm after the storm. 3. The fire of faith. Yes, Wahhab, the generous donor. There are nights when the soul cries out in silence, where the stomach is empty, but above all, it is the heart that is hungry. Hunger for meaning, hunger for light, hungry for answers. And in these moments, there is only one name that can make the spring flow into the desert. Yes, Wahhab, the giver, the generous, the one who gives without calculating, the one who offers without conditions. Khaled knew the bottom of the abyss. He had lost everything. An investment mistake, debts, humiliations. Shame had locked him in silence. An anxiety visited him every night like a waking nightmare. One evening, in despair, he entered his neighborhood mosque. Nobody was there. He sat in the shadows, facing the mihrab, and said, "Yes, Wahhab. Yes, Wahhab. Yes, Wahhab." Again, 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 until her tears washed the prayer rug. Then he fell asleep, exhausted by his pain. And in his sleep, a dream. A man dressed in white, a luminous face, a soft voice. Ask, and you will receive. Ask of him who never refuses. When he woke up, the weight seemed less heavy. Something in the air had changed, and exactly 7 days later, a call from his brother. "I opened a business. I need you. Come work with me." Khaled cried again, but this time, it was gratitude that overflowed. Ratuha, yes. Wahhab, don't just give yourself what you want. The you women, what you don't yet know you want. He gives you more than you asked. He gives you at the perfect time. He gives to you without ever becoming poorer. And you who read or listen to these words, how many times have you asked humans for what they themselves don't have? Respect, love, support. They are limited. They have their own shortcomings. More Allah. Allah is Al-Wahhab. Why not turn to the one who never gets tired of giving? Why look in the hands of people what only heaven can place in your life? Try today, 100 times, with tears or without them, with faith big or small, but with sincerity. And wait, the giver will never make you wait in vain. 4. Unshakable peace. As-Salam, absolute peace. There are pains that cannot be seen, wars that no one notices because they are fought inside. Fatima knew about this war. Anxiety, constant worry, the heart that beats for no reason, thoughts that spin without stopping, like a storm in a bottle. Fatima smiled in public, but she cried alone in her bed. She prayed, she read, but deep down, a part of her was desperately searching for one thing: peace. One day, in a small country mosque, she confided her discomfort to an old imam. He gave him neither psychological advice nor complicated remedies. He simply told him, repeat 100 times a day, As-Salam, and peace will come from where you weren't looking for her. Fatima obeys, a little skeptical, but she held on. Day after day, she said the name, Ya Salam, Ya Salam, Ya Salam. Sometimes with fervor, sometimes mechanically, but always with the intention of find Allah. And something changed. No, his problems haven't gone away. No, his bills were not miraculously paid. More, she has changed. A strange peace settled within her. A peace not linked to what was going well, but a peace who survived even when everything was bad. A peace from above. Not that of the world, but that of Creator of the world. Because say, "Oh Salam," it's not just whispering a word. It is placing your worries in the hand of Allah. It's inviting light into the dark corners of your soul. The Prophet Muhammad said, after each prayer, "O Allah, you are peace, and from you comes peace." It's not poetry. It is a spiritual reality. Saying Ya Salam is reminding your soul that peace does not come from this world, but from Him who created it. And you, dear brother, dear sister, have you found peace? Or do you always look for it in things that change, in likes, promises, possessions? True peace cannot be found. She receives herself, and the one who gives it, it is O Salam. 5. The invisible call, Ya Latif, the subtle. There are times when you think nothing is moving. We pray, we hope, we cry sometimes, but nothing seems to respond. The sky seems closed, the silence of God, heavy. And yet, there is a name of Allah that does not strike hard, which does not light suddenly, but who slips, like a barely perceptible breeze, like a whisper that crosses the soul. Ya Latif, the subtle, He who acts without being seen, which intervenes without noise, which modifies the trajectories without disturbing the surface. It is He who inspires your heart to change course, to call a specific person, to read a particular passage, to say a prayer that you had never prayed. It is He who sends you a word, a coincidence, a delay. At the exact moment when it was necessary, something changes. A few years ago, a young man, Karim, was preparing for a very difficult exam. He had revised, but not everything. He couldn't take the stress anymore. So one night, he got up and performed ablutions, placed his forehead on the ground and said, Ya Latif, you who know everything, act subtly in what I do not control. On the day of the exam, a subject came out, exactly the one he had revised out of fatigue at the last minute. He looked up, he smiles, and whispered, Ya Latif, you heard me. It wasn't luck. It was no coincidence. It was the divine breath, invisible but present. Allah does not always shout His answers. He sets them down gently, in a look, a moment, a silence. The Prophet Muhammad said that help from Allah often comes discreetly, as the wind that pushes a boat without seeing the wind, but we feel the movement. So when you say, Ya Latif, you are not just calling for an intervention. You open the door to a presence, that of Him who sees all, hears all, but acts with tenderness. And you, how many times have you believed that Allah had forgotten you? And if it was He who, in silence, prepared everything, so that your heart gets to the right place, at the right time, in peace? 6. The invisible force, Ya Aziz, the Almighty. There are fights that no one sees, inner battles, storms that you face in silence. Your smile hides wounds, your calm suppressed anger. You hold on, but sometimes you waver. It is in these moments that Ya Aziz takes on its full meaning. The Almighty, not the one who crushes, but the one who supports, the one who breathes a force that no one understands, not even you. The Prophet Muhammad, after being rejected, humiliated, and injured by the inhabitants of Taif, did not cry for revenge. He did not curse. He raised his hands and said, O Allah, if you are not angry with me, I don't care about anything. How strong does it take to say that covered in blood? What inner power does it take to support injustice without hatred? This is what the name Ya Aziz can bring it into your heart. Every time you say it, you do not implore brute force, more a light that lifts you above what crushes you. This is what Anas, 17, experienced being harassed in high school. Mocked every day, internally demolished. One evening he found advice on the internet. This Ya Aziz 100 times a day and observe what happens inside you. He did it. Each day. The insults did not stop, but they no longer had the same effect. He walked straight. He responded with silence. He shined without arrogance. A friend ends up saying to him, You're no longer afraid, it seems. You give off something strong. He had found the invisible force. The power of Allah does not come to you like lightning. She settles down. It transforms your interior. It strengthens you in the looks that judge. She lifts you up when the world seeks to bring you down. Repeat, Ya Aziz. It's not running away. It is welcome the presence of the one who makes you steadfast. Have you ever asked Allah to make you strong? Or are you still hoping that the people who hurt you will come and fix you? 7. Spiritual transformation. The secret is in constancy. This world moves fast. We want everything right away. A prayer, a miracle, an invocation, an immediate change. But with Allah, it's different. It's not the speed that matters. It is the depth. You can recite the most beautiful names, but if your heart is absent, they bounce off your soul without ever reaching it. Listen to this. It's not words alone that change your life. It is the heart that carries them. It is the constancy that anchors them. It is the sincerity that opens them. Each name of Allah is a seed, but how many of us sow them without ever watering them? Do you want to see a change? So don't recite for the sake of reciting. Recite how we breathe, how we come back to life for 7 days. Yes, 7 days. It's short for the world, but for the soul, it is an opening, an alignment. 7 days of repeating the name of Allah with presence, with love. It's as if you're preparing your heart for a divine visitation. As if every morning, every evening, you open the door and Allah gently came to enter. Some say, I did it once, it didn't change anything. But do they know that gold is not formed in a day? That the stars, before shining, pass through the darkness? A man once said, I said Al-Latif 100 times every day for 7 days. I don't know what has changed around me, but inside me I felt a calm, a clarity, a tenderness, as if Allah had touched me without me realizing it. Here's the secret, not in the number, but in the inner presence, not in a hurry, but in the constance. And you, will you dare to take these 7 days? Not to ask Allah to change things, but to let Allah change you or you. You are still here. That means something resonated. Maybe pain, maybe a weight, maybe this feeling that you are not alone, even in silence. So do it. Not for me, not for video, but for you, for your heart, for your bond with the one who loves you more than anything. Choose a name. Repeat it 100 times for 7 days with your heart. And look what Allah will do. Not outside first, more inside, where it all begins. And if you feel even a thrill in your soul, come back here. Tell me which of the names spoke to you.